Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and we have a good one here tonight. It's Bristol, baby, under the lights. Here we have the Gladiator 200 with the Winston Cup Series with the 802 iRacing League. Here tonight we have 29 drivers on the premise ready to do battle for 200 laps. Lap times are going to go by here in a hurry. It's going to be action-packed each and every corner. And I tell you what, if there's a place where tempers can get high, it'll be here tonight at Bristol with short track racing, close quarter battles, and everything you could ask for here, as we'll see probably that middle side be where you want to be at the start. Then pretty much from there, you'll want to go to that top side, as current Bristol here definitely top side dominant, and we'll see cars moving on around. And should be really interesting to see when we get into lap traffic here tonight. I believe here with the pit road, I think it almost looks like dual pit road to me. I have to take a look under pace laps just to be sure, but almost looking like dual pit road if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it might be single pit road. We'll find out here in just a little bit. But yeah, 200 laps after tonight. 5 races left until the playoffs start here with this league. And I tell you what, anyone could still get on in. 15th in points right now, Tyler Bellinger. And Bellinger not here last week, not here this week as well. And pretty much you can have a max of about 50 points per night. So he's only sitting at 220. So if a driver were to jump in even now, end up winning a lot of races, they could maybe just point their way into the top 15. But as long as you have a few starts under you, you could very much be in the playoffs when that time comes. As here we go, qualifying is about to be underway. Looks like one of the first cars here out on the Speedway rocking a special night scheme on the number 1 machine. It is the BG Graphix of Brandon Guerin. Guerin here on lap number 1. We'll see where he can go. As you can see there, that kind of middle to bottom lane, that's where you'll want to be. Kind of just float this car in, let it turn. As soon as you feel those front wheels grab, start to roll on it, get the rest of the turn done with the throttle. That's pretty much a quick time around this place, as lap number 1 for the number 1 machine of 15.23. Right now, quick time is the 21 machine of 15.16. Guerin here on his final lap off of turn number 4. We will see if he will improve. No, he won't, but will be consistent at 15.24 for lap number 2. Now we take a look at the 24 machine. This is Aiden Tatro. Tatro here making a select starts here so far this season. We'll see where the 24 can go as Cody Meadows jumps to the top of the board. No driver yet in the 14-second mark. As I say that, it changes. Scott Simley with a 14.96. That would be good enough for P number 1 here for the time being. Tatro lap number 1, good enough for P number 7 there. 15.17 puts him right in the mix. As here, lap number 2, gonna get loose, smack the inside wall, and Tatro's qualifying will come to an end with that. A driver on a hot streak here, tied with the most wins so far this season, sitting at 3. It is last week's winner, Anthony Calatoni. Calatoni, of course, just changing that paint scheme here last week, picked up the win as the 84 machine, looking to go now 3 in a row, as Calatoni, lap number 1, not what he wanted. You saw he got a little bit loose, though, off of turn number 4. He will only be P13 of 15.35 for lap number 1. Here, final time at the start-finish line. The 84 machine will pick up time. We'll jump to P number 10 with a 15.19 there. A driver that was pretty quick in practice here. It is the 4 car of Jim Ott. Ott was inside the top 5 there. We'll see where Ott can go, as he has had a pretty good run the last couple weeks here. He has been putting together a nice mid-season surge, and with that sits P number 3 in the points. So it looks like Ott going to throw away lap number 1, going to run the high side, try and get as much momentum as he can. As here, lap number 2 going to go down to the bottom side. Of course, that first lap going to be on the very slow slide, running that top side. You can see that 15.79. So that's why the top side's only good once tire wear comes into effect. As Ott will cross the stripe, jump up to P number 2. So throwing away that first lap, definitely working on out, as Ott will start on the front row for the time being. Another driver rolling out to the Speedway here. Last week's pole sitter. It is a 61 machine of Steve Ritter. Ritter going to get that bone dry 61 machine up to speed here. Sam Harrell will jump up inside the top 10. He will slot into P number 7 with a 15.10 for the 42 machine. Mike Kelly was the quick time in practice, but Kelly right now only sits P number 9, but very, very close lap times, as Steve Ritter will slot into 10th there, a 15.17 for the time being. That'll bump Tatro out of the top 10, as Ritter going to get loose there across the line, will be slower, and Steve Ritter going to hang on to top 10, maybe not quite, as Jeff Pogo will just squeak in a lap there, and Pogo will go to P number 10 now. Final car to maybe try and sneak in a lap. He has just enough time to do so. It is the 30 machine on the car, or the 31 in the timing scoring. This is Jason White making his series debut. So we'll see what White can do here at Bristol. Here on lap number 1, it looks like White will go to about a 15.46. So I'll put him P22 for the time being. And it looks like going to run out of time to complete lap number 2. So we got to give big congratulations here for his first pole award. And that will go to the driver of the 33 machine, Scott Simley, walking away with the Riptide Radio pole award here tonight at Bristol. And of course, Scott gonna be leading the field to the green flag, as the field getting ready to rock and roll. Let's run through tonight's starting lineup here for the Gladiator 200 at Bristol. So here we go, folks. The starting lineup here tonight will look like the following. Scott Simley in the 33 machine going to lead the field to the green flag. To his outside will be the 4 car of Jim Ott. Starting in P number 3, Cody Meadows here. He is looking to rebound here, and so far here tonight going to start in a very nice spot, not deep in the field for once. Meadows going to roll off in 3rd. Johnny Barker, a solid qualifying effort here. He will start P number 4 in the 6 machine, and his teammate Rob Lowell in that 21 gonna round out the top 5. Chad Coleman in the 38 machine. He will start in the P number 6 position here, and Coleman coming off a runner-up finish last week, looking to continue that. Sam Harrell in that 42 machine will start 7th, and rolling off 8th is the 62 of Frank Zing, and always great to see Frank out there on the Speedway, and here tonight qualifying inside that top 10. Speaking about top 10, let's go to the top 10 roll. Rolling off in 9th is the 43 machine. That is Mike Kelly, and rounding out the top 10, our current points leader, the 97 machine of Jeff Pogo. Rolling off 11th will be the 61 machine of Steve Ritter. Starting in 12th is the 24 of Aiden Tatro. Joey Katina in the 14 machine will start 13th. 14th going to last week's winner, Anthony Calatoni, in that 84. Brandon Guerin in the 1 car will roll off 15th. 16th going to Kip Easley in the 8 car. And Kip sits right now P number 2 in the points. Joe Hudson in the 23. Glad to see Joe out here tonight. Was able to finish up on the podium here for the Daytona race. Glad to see him back out here in that 23 machine. Ariba Caton in the 30 here will roll off 18th. Chris Van Schaik in the 41 machine will start 19th. And rounding out the top 20 will be the 15 of Landon Audit. 21st will be Eli Raposa. 22nd is Jason White. 23rd is Shannon Wood. 24th going to Nick Larson. 25th is Ron Holyfield. 26th, Kenny Reel. Reel not making the call. Hopefully he's able to get out on the Speedway. Chris Broger, glad to see him on back. Was missing last week due not to being home. He's out here tonight in the 7 machine. Gerald Livingston will roll off 28th and 29th. Starting shotgun on the field here will be Steve Vest in the 60 machine. So that'll do it here tonight for the starting lineup. We got the field ready to rock and roll, and as you can see, a large group of cars here, 28 cars ready and on the grid, ready to do battle. So this time by, we are going to go green flag racing here at Bristol. One car around instantly. I think that is the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Yes, it is. He will try and get that car rolling, but we will stay green flag racing for the time being, as Scott Simley leading the way over Jim Ott. So Rob gonna keep it out of the way of the field. Luckily, very big and open kind of aprons at this racetrack, but the 21 machine here right off the rip gonna lose a lap. Definitely not the way that he wanted to start, but still a lot of time to make it on back, as 200 laps here tonight gonna be the distance, but though 3 laps already in the books, gonna make it 4 here at the start finish line. So Johnny Barker here already using that second lane and using it well, as Barker has moved up from P number 4 up into second, or at least trying to take second away from the 4 car of Jim Ott. The question becomes, man, when does that right front start going away? I mean, heavy loads here at Bristol. Even though, you know, speed-wise, it's not as crazy as you see at other tracks. The banking really puts a lot of force into these tires here, and especially the concrete surface. It could be very temperature sensitive. Looking back a little bit deeper in the field here, battle just outside of the top 10, as Aiden Tatro going to be able to hold off Anthony Calatoni for the time being. A little bit deeper on back, it looks like Jason White going to say, you know what, I'm going to go play it easy here. Going to take my time, going to let some cars go on by, and then later in this run, going to try and work my way back on up. As still that battle for second, still raging on here between Barker and Odden. I think down the backstretch, finally going to sort themselves out, as Johnny Barker will hang on to P number 2 for the time being. So already here tonight, lap number 10 will click on over, and already a 20th of the way through the race here tonight. Calatoni was able to get around Tatro. Now Kip Easy going to try and do the same. So Easily one of the biggest movers here, as, oh, we got contact here. Jim Ott out of sorts. Sam Harrell will go on around it. Oh man, Brandon Guerin will be involved, and it is a parking lot here on the front straightaway as we get our first caution under the way. And man, oh man, it started with the 4 car of Jim Ott getting sideways, and then after that, all sorts of calamity brewing. So let's see if we can see maybe what happened to Ott, as Ott already up, kind of up out of the racing surface, comes on down the track a little bit, then some netco between the 4 and the 42, and then that will of course start to create the calamity here. Let's see if Ott was able to sneak on by. It looks like, yeah, he was able to at least sneak on by the top side. Then Brandon Guerin coming in here with a big slide will collect the 42 machine, and then everyone else trying to make the right kind of guess. Nick Larson locking up the rear tires. Landon Audit just getting a piece of it. Same with the 23 machine of Joe Hudson. He came sliding in there late, but luckily everyone doing a pretty good job, as with the cars stopped in the racing line just like that, it can make things super, super hectic in a hurry. As yeah, let's try and see what happened to the 4 machine of Jim Ott. Oh, here we go. Ott and maybe Cody Meadows making contact there. You can see they are already out of sorts, so let's try and catch back up, maybe just a little bit. We'll watch from this point. So Ott down the front straightaway, a little bit loose off of turn number 4. Cody Meadows will drive it in there deep, get to the outside, and then, yeah, Ott just moves on up. I mean, Meadows had some room to the wall, but Ott also working his way back on up. It looks like Ott having some damage here, at least looking live at the 4 machine, but definitely could have been a lot worse, as Jim Ott still in the top 10 and 8th. As yeah, I think the over-under on 8 cautions gonna be pretty spot on. I have a good feeling about this race. I'm going to go under, but I'll say probably 6 cautions in this one when it's all said and done. Okay, good to know that the bottom side might be where it's at with these next-gen cars. Reading a little bit of the YouTube chat lands, as well as we got the Cody Meadows fans out there. Always love to see them. Cody always appreciates it as well. Yeah, definitely wild stuff to be racing that hard this early on, as still over 180 laps left in this one as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing, first restart of the night as the field will get underway. Scott Simley gonna lead the way back into turn number 1. Johnny Barker was pretty good up in that second lane. We'll see if he can keep the momentum rocking and rolling. Also look at who's back up towards the front. Chad Coleman finished runner-up last week. He's up in the podium already here tonight. And look at this, Frank Zingen in that black and red 62 machine. He's also making his way to the front. That 62. Might want to keep an eye on him. Out in front, though, battle for the race lead here as Johnny Barker, Scott Simley, side by side. Simley down low in that 33 machine. Barker up top in the 6. Simley continues to kind of run the middle to almost top lane here, trying to keep Barker up towards the top. They make contact. Johnny Barker sideways. Barker into the wall. Oh no, you hate to see it, battling for the race lead. Contact there, and Johnny Barker will fall outside of the top 10. He's at least still up in that second lane, so can get back up there, but a heartbreak for Barker as he worked pretty hard to get up to that lead and then to lose all that track position right away. With that, though, that actually opened up the door for Chad Coleman, so Coleman now takes over the point, the first race leader besides that 33 machine. Also, here comes Frank Zingen. Zingen trying to work to the bottom side here of that 33 machine, but that top side seems like the place to be, at least at the moment, for defending from the car behind. As we get our second caution here on the Speedway, and it looks like a night going from bad to worse as Johnny Barker now spun around on the Speedway. Chris Proger also down here on pit road as well, so maybe my 6 cautions might be on the low side here, as we already have our second caution here right around lap 22. So let's take a look, see what happened on our Turn 3 Racing Network replay here, and see what happened to Johnny Barker, as it looks like Barker just got that right rear hot. I'm sure that slide earlier just a few laps ago not helping that situation, as that 6 car gonna get loose off the corner, gonna try and hang on to it. And man, Chris Proger right there, wrong place, wrong time. Wow, Reba Caton just squeaking by that one. I mean, I don't think you could shoot that any closer. I say let's ride on board with the 30 machine, riding on board, because wow, that was about as close as you can get here. As watch this, seeing a car up high. Woo! Man, Johnny Barker just cleared out of the way from the 30 machine, as it looks like Barker will get that car back rolling here, so he will try and continue the night. As yeah, definitely a possible scuffle in the pits after the race. Multiple people probably will be the case, as I tell you what, action is high here at Bristol, and always brings out a lot of tempers there. And yeah, definitely marbles starting to build up to the top of the racetrack. That's definitely something iRacing has worked on. And I want to say about 2 updates ago, they really worked on kind of the feel of marbles up top. Let's see if we can, of course, not the greatest static camera there as looking inside the wall. We'll see if we can get a better shot here. But yeah, you do see some marbles. If you look kind of on the left side of the screen just below the ticker, you can see some black dots right up there. And those are the marbles on the Speedway. And like I was saying, about 2 to 3 updates ago here on the oval side, they really increase the effect of marbles. I mean, one of our short track racing series that I'm a part of, we actually turn it off because it is that bad to make that high side work. As we'll see how it affects the cars here tonight. But here we go, restart number 2 underway. Chad Coleman in the 38 machine gonna lead the field back to green flag. Scott Simley to his outside as Coleman on the loud pedal here, and we head back to green flag racing. Both of the front two gonna get single filed out and make their way around the bottom side of 1 and 2. First side-by-side battle here is for that 4th position as Mike Kelly and Jeff Pogo go side-by-side. Pogo gonna try and slide up in front of Ritter, won't be able to shut the door. Here comes now the 61 machine of Steve Ritter. As right in front of them, Mike Kelly making a move to the inside of Zingen. Had to back out of that one. Now here comes Steve Ritter with the momentum up in lane number 2. So Ritter qualified outside the top 10, currently now inside the top 5. So one of the biggest movers in the race right now is the 61 machine, who just took over P number 4 from the 43 of Mike Kelly. A little bit deeper in the field right here. The battle of the 2 cars, though, 2 of Shannon Wood and the 2 of Nick Larson, right now tied for the biggest mover. Both those cars up 11 positions, so they'll see what they can do around him, see who could be the best 2 car here when it all finishes. But Nick Larson gonna lose a spot here to the 21 machine of Rob Lowell. Lowell was able to get that caution there right during that first caution, get the wave round, excuse me. So he is back up on the lead lap, up to P number 13. So the recovery drive full on and underway, and luckily still has time on his side. As up towards the front here, Mike Kelly trying to get around Frank Zingen for the P number 3 position. So Kelly up top in that 43 machine trying to keep the momentum rolling as we ride on board with Frank Zingen. Up in front of them, Scott Simley starting to put a lot of pressure on our race leader, Chad Coleman, as well. And that is because up there, Simley running that middle lane here, keeping that momentum rocking and rolling, as now we see Jeff Pogo get to the outside. Same with Anthony Calatoni. So Frank Zingen still saying, hey, I want to save some tires. I'm going to put this 62 machine on this bottom side, as he will jump actually up towards the middle. So I think at this point, you're kind of set for your tires. You know, if you saved, you're going to start to feel the benefits from this point on. If you didn't, you might start to feel the effects of it, as already these guys about half a second off their best time of the race. As here we go, battle for the race lead. Scott Simley up top, Chad Coleman down low. Those two almost going to trade some paint at the start finish line, but give the advantage to the car on the top side once again. Scott Simley trying to get back to the point. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Caden, always a fan favorite. He is one of the most starts here with the 802 iRacing League when it comes to the Cup Series stuff. I mean, we got to double check the stats just to be sure, but Caden up there with, let's see here. Tonight will actually be his 60th start, so big milestone for the 30 machine as we get a caution flag out here on the Speedway. Going to draw our third one, and it looks like maybe the O2 machine of Shannon Wood could have been involved. It looks like they are towards the back here, so we will keep an eye here as, yeah, Wood will get loose down the straightaway. Man, that is a weird one because you are definitely up there. Oh, it looks like the 60 machine of Steve Vest will get a piece of it. Vest trying to sneak through the top side, but Wood doing a good job locking it on down. Yeah, let's take a look at that one more time. A weird place to kind of lose the back end. As actually, I take that back. Wood did lose it just off the exit there of 4 and then spent the front straightaway trying to save it. As, yeah, that's a tough break for the O2 machine. As, yeah, it looks like some drivers able to sneak through the top. Man, Joe Hudson, same with the 25 machine of Ron Holyfield. But sadly, Steve Vest going to not be as lucky. Going to get some left side damage there. Of course, now front and rear damage on the O2 machine. As, yeah, these guys have 3 sets of tires over the pit wall waiting for them each and every race. So drivers can, most of the time, you know, use up the full 3 sets by the end of it. But here with Bristol, especially being such a track position game, we'll probably see people save them for about 60 to 100 for their first set. And then from there, maybe 100 to 150. And then your last set, you want to have enough time to make it back up towards the front. But I wouldn't say you want to take your last set, you know, right about 160. Or you can take your second set about 160 and then save a set of tires for a green-white checkered. The bummer with not everyone coming down for green-white checkered is, as everyone knows, this place is pretty small. You can get boxed in very quickly. So you're going to have to hope to restart right around the top 5 if you do take tires on a green-white checkered to have a shot at a win. As, yeah, definitely a battle of attrition each and every time that any series, you know, loads up to Bristol. This place has a way of, you know, destroying race cars. As if we get into a rhythm here, it looks like we got someone outside the infield care center here waiting to chat it up with us. But here we go, third restart of the night. Scott Simley back in control. Simley gonna go early in the box, and we head back to green flag racing at Bristol as Simley Coleman once again very coordinated. Both of them back down to the bottom side. Mike Kelly now under fire from Steve Ritter. Ritter trying to keep that 61 machine rocking and rolling up in lane number 2. Gonna do just that as they close on in for that battle for the race lead as Coleman down on the bottom side. And it seems like Coleman has some good center speed. You can see that 38 machine make up a lot of time on the 33 right there as they go through the middle part of the corner. But Simley can start to build up that momentum up in that second lane. And you can see lose a little bit there, but then down these straightaways, you can see the 33 starts to pull on in front and half a car length by the time they lift there into turn number 1. So Simley definitely getting that momentum rocking and rolling back in that 33 machine. And now here comes Steve Ritter to try and take away P number 2 away. So great battle here at the front of the kind of the pack here for the time being. Rob Lowell, update on the 21 machine. He is back into the top 5 here. He is back up into the top 10, let's say, as he makes his way to the top 5. Aiden Tatro a little bit sideways last time off of turn number 4. We'll keep an eye here on the 24 machine. Looks like that time by a lot better there for him. As Mike Kelly able to get to the top side of Chad Coleman. So Kelly back into P number 3 here as he'll take that spot away from that 38 machine. Kip Easley, haven't talked too much about him tonight, started deep in the field, easily trying to get into the top 5 for the first time here tonight as he tries to run down Calatoni, who now starts to put some pressure, now able to get to the outside of Chad Coleman. So Calatoni and Coleman will duke it on out for that 4th position. Right behind them, Kip Easley in that 8 machine, as well as the 97 of Jeff Pogo. Jeff Pogo, never a fan of short tracks, but right now doing pretty well for himself up inside the top 10 for the time being. Pogo going to take a peek to the inside of Kip Easley. Those two going to go side by side. And I think that bottom side might be a little bit too loose to really make a pass. I mean, I keep on seeing guys that are having to, pinch that car off because they're on the bottom side, with that bottom side exit, can't move up to the wall. So, have to have that little bit extra wheel as you put in some throttle. And with that, it seems like these cars are very, very loose under the lights. So I think that bottom side might be not the greatest place to be, at least with the current amount of rubber, because it seems like it is tough to put the power down at the time being. Cody Meadows here trying something a little bit different. He ended up pitting there and looks like getting some damage repaired and maybe taking some tires. Not sure if he meant to, but Cody Meadows now mid-pack here around 17th, so he's trying to get his way up through the field here. One car with some trouble, with some damage. That is a 2 car of Nick Larson. It looks like the right front's still on that race car, but definitely some heavy front end damage for the 2 of Larson. He will try and hang on to it as 1 car goes on around down the back straightaway. That is Eli Raposa. Raposa going to keep it out of the way for the time being as he will try and get that car straightened as we stay green flag racing. You can see the field flying on by in the background as Raposa will get that car rolling. Going to lose a lap because of it, but able to keep on racing here tonight. Out in front though, Scott Simley has started check out here. Steve Ritter up to 2nd, Mike Kelly P number 3, Anthony Calatoni 4th, and Chad Coleman rounding out the top 5. But Scott Simley led probably about 30 of these 60 laps as once again you see the 46 machine of Eli Raposa still on the bottom side of the racetrack. Looks like he will get that car rolling. Gonna not take it down pit road as it is dual pit road, I believe it was confirmed. So they will have either pit on the backside here or on the bottom side as Raposa. Those tires definitely hot as we get a caution on the Speedway. Looks like Joe Hudson slow on it as well. So we will try and see if maybe Joe Hudson, or I think it was because of the 46 machine of Eli Raposa, just getting that thing sideways enough on the racing surface that I think it was able to trigger there. So that will bring us out for our 4th caution of the evening. And we got a little bit something to on about for the time being. And that is talking with the driver of the 7 machine, Chris Kroger, done for the evening. And another tough break here tonight as we will try and... Man, it looks like I just missed him. So Chris, if you're watching the broadcast here, feel free to jump on in. We'll get a word with you here as we were just sending on up as we were waiting for this caution flag to fly here. So Chris, if you're out there, still want to get a word with you, my man. As it looks like quite a busy pit road there, we will go to the end of pit road as our first takers on the pit stop here done and underway. And you can see cars pitting here on the back straightaway as well. But of course, out on pit road, it's going to be Scott Simley, the first car off of pit road. Then Mike Kelly, Anthony Calatoni, Steve Ritter, a little bit of a slow stop there from the 61. As it looks like, yeah, now we got Chris here, back here. So we're going to try and get a word here with the driver of the 7 machine, Chris Broger, as we are under caution flag. But yeah, so far only 2 cars stayed on out. That was Ariba Caton and Shannon Wood staying on out. Everyone else down on pit road to take 4 fresh tires and fill it up with Sunoco race fuel. Hey, Chris, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett, what's going on?
Oh man, it has been hectic here at Bristol. How was your race? And sadly, it got shortened down up once again, right?
I felt so bad because I was like, man, he's down at the bottom. I'm clear. I'm just gonna, just drive by. And then his rear got loose or something. He just jumped right straight up in the track, knocked out my left front, and then my right front got smoke going in the wall. So I pulled in the pits, and Chad was like, nope, we're done.
Wow, so yeah, definitely a big hit there. And I mean, it's so hard to react to this place because one, the high speeds and with the short track, as well as there's the visibility here really isn't that good.
I mean, it really isn't that bad because with VR, I'm looking out the left window. I'm looking out my left and out the front, going around the corner. So I have a lot more vision. I mean, it's just like running triples, only it moves with my head. So I saw everything that was happening, but there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, definitely not, especially with a car rolling into the racing lane here at Bristol. That's always asking for trouble, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to avoid that first caution, but not that one.
Yeah, that one just happening right in front of you, man, having no time to react. How about the strategy call by the O2 and the 30 machine, staying out on old tires and kind of holding their own?
The fall off isn't really bad, especially when you're dealing with guys that are in traffic. So, I mean, I went from 27th to 15th in like 20 laps. But as soon as I got up to 15th, it got considerably harder just because there was more side-by-side stuff like that. So, like you were saying before, track position is going to be huge with this.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way, as well as the line seems really important. It seems like everyone's kind of running the middle groove and going to the high side to pass. Is that what you kind of saw in practice, or is this how this track's just shaping out here in the race?
That's how I gained 12 spots, was high side.
Yeah, it definitely seems like the place to be, and that's definitely tough to do because you have to drive it in there pretty deep and then really be conscious because we've seen it a few times here tonight. It's pretty loose on exit.
After about 5 laps, your tires get hot, and then it'll get a little slippery for about 3 laps or so, and then it digs back in, and you get your grip back.
Okay, good to know. So you kind of got to, you can go for 5 laps, but then you got to kind of turn it on back down a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta manage it for a few laps until they get back in, and then get right back after it.
Yeah, man, but tough break for you here tonight. Still looking okay when the playoffs come on about. I know you're just outside of it, I believe. What are kind of the end goals with 5 races left before those cutoff happens?
Make it 30 laps.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah, no, just go out there and do the best I can. I mean, that's all I can do is just do what I can and hope for the best. And tonight it wasn't in the cards. So
Yep.
It's all right. I mean, it's 7 o'clock. I gotta start my new job tomorrow morning. So yeah.
Yeah, man, exciting stuff there. New job, new paint scheme because of it, and sadly, not the luck maybe you wanted for the first night with the new paint scheme, right?
No. Well, I mean, it's Bristol, so I mean, yeah, I ain't gonna let it get me mad.
Yep, definitely not. At least next week we go to a bigger track, Texas. How you feeling about that place, Chris?
Texas is great. I wish that they would rescan the track just so it got the age like the Cup cars have it now. I feel like that would make even better racing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think a little bit of age always helps a track here on iRacing, especially with the dynamic stuff. It just helps create that multi-groove race, and that's always so good to see.
And it looked like Kelly and Ritter are definitely holding their own right now.
Yeah, definitely so. Mike Kelly out there with the lead, and we're looking at Anthony Calatoni working over Frank Zingen. So, yeah, it's still some good battles, even though everyone's starting to spread on out. Still people chasing each other down, and that's the joys of Bristol. So, Chris, it was great talking to you. Here, real quick, before we let you go and sign off here tonight at Bristol, anyone you want to give a quick shout out to on the broadcast here?
Let's shout out to my new employers, Motion Industries. Start there tomorrow morning, and thankful for them giving me this opportunity.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, exciting stuff. And Chris, you have a great time there at the new job Monday morning, and we'll talk to you hopefully next Sunday at Texas.
Yep. Well, let's hope it's for finishing.
Exactly. Talk to you up on the podium.
Yeah. We'll talk to you later. Have a good night.
Yep, you too, Chris. Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was Chris Broger out of the Infield Care Center. And yeah, like we were talking about a minute ago, Mike Kelly out in front. He was the best time in practice, so this 43 machine definitely has some pace. And right now here tonight, showing it on off, leading the way over Steve Ritter. Ritter able to run comfortably in second. Scott Simley dominated that first portion before those tires. Has since been into P number 3 here, kind of riding on around. Chad Coleman running in the 4th position. And Kip Easley once again in the mix here. Easily rounds out the top 5. Jeff Pogo in 6th. Joey Gattina in 7th, up inside the top 10. Anthony Calatoni in 8th. Jim Ott rebounding here to 9th after a kind of opening few laps incident. You can see the damage on the 4 machine. And Frank Zingen able to hang on inside the top 10 here. Quite a few cars under a blanket here. Nick Larson in the 2 machine getting hunted down by Aiden Tatro and Charles Van Schaik. So all 4 of these cars starting to group on up here. The 42 machine going to be a few laps down, so not going to be 4 position here as Nick Larson up to the top side. Tatro down low. He will keep it under him, but once again we see that 24 machine just a little bit loose on corner exit there off of 4. Oh man, yeah, Kenny. Yeah, some spicy Chipotle could be an interesting choice before a race. I will say that, as yeah, hopefully you're feeling better with that. But as we get contact down the back straightaway, the 41 and the 24 make contact. And the 24 machine of Aiden Tatro will go on around. And that will draw our 5th caution of the evening right before the halfway point. And with this track such a small place, by the time Tatro had a chance to turn on around, I think he might lose a lap here, as Mike Kelly, our race leader, will just get on by. So that's the other kind of bummer that you don't hear too much about at Bristol. Is if you're involved in an incident, you have very little time to safely get turned on around and get back rolling before you could get trapped a lap down. As with Tatro getting trapped a lap down, I think that'll put us right around 20 cars on the lead lap with the lucky dog. I think it'll be the 15 machine of Landon Audit going to be the lucky dog here under this 5th caution of the evening. Yeah, I tell you what, I give this group of racers a lot of props. As I was said in the YouTube chat lands there, that could have been a lot of trouble with some cars staying out on old tires, but everyone holding their own, everyone doing a great job. As this time, kind of a split strategy. We see quite a few cars coming on down, probably just to get repairs done. But one of the drivers up towards the front that pitted, Cody Meadows, he is down and away, and I think Meadows did take tires that time, so this could work out well for the 19 machine, as once again, kind of another long run. But yeah, 5th caution. My 6 cautions not looking too well, as 5 cautions in the first half of this one. Going to be a little tough to have it won, but if there's any group that could, run green to the end, it's definitely these boys here tonight. As yeah, great racing through the field here. And so far, no real big ones. I think our biggest incident involved 5 cars, so no big calamity yet, but that could all change. I mean, restarts are definitely hectic here at Bristol. Everyone bunched on up. All it takes is one little mistake, and a lot of trouble could be spelt, as this time by Mike Kelly has to choose at the start-finish line. Looks like Kelly going to choose the inside lane. So Steve Ritter will slot into the outside of the front row. Rest of the field going to double on up as we get ready to head back to green flag racing. I think with some green flag racing about to be underway, I'm going to go let the cars do the talking, do a little turn 3, turn it up right here at the halfway point. And you can see right there, folks, a lot of speed here tonight at the Last Great Coliseum. I mean, these guys flying around this half mile, and it's why it's known that it is one of the biggest and baddest short tracks here anywhere in the world. As Mike Kelly had himself a great start, able to stay out in front. Steve Ritter still be number 2. Chad Coleman, though, up into 3rd as Scott Simley holds on to 4th. Jeff Pogo up into 5th, and right behind them, Cody Meadows. He is making his way through the field. Meadows took tires under that last pit stop, and that 19 machine is on a mission here. So we'll keep an eye here on the 19 machine of Meadows, trying to use those new rubber to his advantage, trying to just go where cars are not on the racetrack, trying to get as much track position as he can, as Cody Meadows here once again inside the top 5 here tonight. Steve Ritter here starting to get hunted by Chad Coleman just a little bit. Coleman within 3 car lengths of the 61 machine, and Coleman still trying to rock and roll on that bottom side here. And yeah, this track definitely super technical at this point in the race, especially as these tires start to go away. You don't get the good turn nor the good drive off, and you got to really be patient with this car, kind of let the track do the turning for you as much as it can. As yeah, it could very much see a new winner here tonight. I mean, Mike Kelly has not won a race. Steve Ritter has not won a race this season. He has won here in the 802 Winston Cup Series before, but nothing on season 6 yet. Chad Coleman looking for his first win. Our first repeat winner, Currently inside the top 5, only Cody Meadows here, as Meadows working over Scott Simley here for that 4th position now. Meadows, of course, starting off this season on a hot streak. As, like I said, since cooled on off a little bit, but still well inside the playoffs, and that's where he wants to be, as he could definitely rebound from there. But here tonight, that 19 machine looking very, very strong, as Meadows going to try and get up into a podium spot here for the first time in the second half of this race. You can see those new tires, though. Meadows able to drive it in there deep, carry a lot of momentum through the corner, and just get some nice drive off each and every time, as Meadows going to make that pass look easy. Now Meadows going to try and get around Ritter for that 2nd position here. Ritter with the preferred lane up in lane number 2, though. Meadows has the better tires. Let's see how this works out. This will really tell if that top side is where it's at, or if tires might matter than what people may think. Ritter so far hanging on for about 2 laps up in that 2nd lane, just able to get his nose there to the outside of Meadows through 3 and 4, but now in 1 and 2, Meadows will be able to complete the pass there, and Cody Meadows will try and track down our race leader, Mike Kelly. With Ritter up in that 2nd lane, that has allowed Chad Coleman to kind of close on up, and Coleman, one of the few drivers here working this bottom side of the racetrack. Coleman trying to be there at the end if we do get a long run here. I think he just has to stay patient, wait for cars to kind of fall back to him on that bottom side, and Coleman could be sitting in a really, really good spot, as up in front. Battle for the race lead, Cody Meadows, Mike Kelly. I think Kelly just got it at the start-finish line, but Meadows with those newer tires just going to be able to wrap that bottom side, and new race leader out in front. Cody Meadows will take over the point with about 80 laps left in this one. Chad Coleman, Steve Ritter still side by side here for that position. Those two almost going to make contact there off of turn number 2. Ritter may have gotten a little bit loose. Coleman could slide up in front, close the door. He will do that, as right behind them now Scott Simley going to try and get around Steve Ritter now for the 4th position. So let's ride on board with Steve Ritter looking back at the 33 machine here. Simley will back out of that one. We'll try and strike back maybe to the top side of the 61 machine. Simley going to have the momentum up there, and it looks like going to try and get on by here, as now we ride on board with Scott Simley up in that 2nd lane. Scott Simley going to be able to complete the pass, so he will stay at least in the 4th position for the time being. So out in front, it is Cody Meadows. Last time by, Cody Meadows ran a 16:05, whereas the guy on 30-lap older tires right behind him, Mike Kelly, able to throw down a 16:16. So Cody Meadows only about a 10th, maybe 2 faster than the field, but with this place being such a small racetrack, I mean, just over 16-second lap times. A 10th could be a very big difference when it's all said and done. As we see Cody Meadows here working a little bit of lap traffic. We'll get around the 6th machine of Johnny Barker. So Barker sits 2 laps down. Eli Raposa still out there at 4 laps down. And Rob Lowell, currently the driver in the lucky dog spot, as a 21 machine find himself 1 lap down for the time being. But like I said, in the lucky dog spot, he could get back on the race lead here with a caution, as we see a driver here for the first time here tonight under pit road, under green flag. Nick Larson will bring that car down in for service, and I think from this point out, for sure, everyone could make it on fuel if they pit from this point, but everyone, last pitted lap 64 for the most part, so I think the field has to come down pit road at least one more time here tonight. And that would still set them up with a set of tires for a sprint to the finish if they need. Battle 4-6 here starting to heat on up as Anthony Calatoni starting to run down Jeff Pogo. So let's ride on board with Anthony Calatoni, see what he is doing, and see how he kind of tries to set up Jeff Pogo. Pogo doing a good job at some defensive driving, running right in the middle of the speedway. But you can see Calatoni with him running just a half car length to maybe a full car length higher. You can see just how much more speed he is carrying by the time they lift for the next corner. We see Nick Larson there rolling off from pit road. So with that, I think that puts you about 3 laps down if you come down pit road under the green flag conditions. So you want to limit that to as little as possible, as Calatoni gets a good run on Pogo there. We'll shoot to the top side, and Anthony Calatoni will take over that 6th position just with that. Now we see the 6th machine of Johnny Barker. He is down on pit road as well, as deeper in the field just outside of the top 10 here. Shannon Wood, they have had themselves a race. Still rolling and still inside the top 15. Going to lose, though, 13 to the 25 Pennzoil machine of Ron Holyfield. So Holyfield looking to put together maybe a top 10 run when it's all said and done. So far looking pretty close to doing that. As right here on track, we see a battle for a second there for the 3rd position, as Chad Coleman trying to put some pressure back on Scott Simley. Simley was able to complete the pass a few laps ago, but Coleman still rocking and rolling on that bottom side of the racetrack. Hasn't given up on it and still trying to paint that yellow line down there. As we get a caution on the speedway, not sure where it is at, but with that caution, pit road is once again going to be busy here tonight, as I think most everyone going to try and come on down pit road, and maybe involving the 2-car Nick Larson. Yes, it does. Nick Larson gets loose off of turn number 4, and very similar to what we saw from another car earlier tonight, as everyone just trying to make evasive maneuvers to get on by the stop 2 machine, as they will do that. But here we go, cars down on pit road. It's about to get busy down on there. We'll go to the end of pit road here and see who wins the race off of pit road here. Scott Simley there in the first pit stall there. Going to have the advantage of the shortest way to get on around, but looks like the first car to get rolling, Mike Kelly. It's going to be close between Kelly, but Cody Meadows will be the first one off. Mike Kelly in second. Looks like Steve Vest, a little bit of strategy call. No, Vest coming down on the backside, excuse me. So then behind Simley was Chad Coleman and Steve Ritter. Going to round out the top 5 as pretty much everyone that was on the lead lap there coming down on pit road to get a full service done. And for some people, that may have been their final tire set. That's what I just wonder about the 19 machine. Like I said, may have accidentally taken a tire set early on in that one. So it should be really interesting to see. But here with 60 to go, the only way the rest of the field really going to use that last tire set is with about a 20 lap or less shootout. And you at least have to have 5 or less cars stay on out to really have that strategy work out in your favor. But as we saw, Cody Meadows, went through that field about 10 laps or so. So it could definitely be done. You just got to have the strategy nailed down to a board. As yeah, definitely a lot of close calls for a lot of drivers there. And like you said there, Steve, in the YouTube chat lands, able to just squeak on by the stop car of the two. So Jeff Pogo able to get a close call checked off the kind of the checklist here tonight, and still out there rolling. As here we go, lights are out on the raceway. Cody Meadows here gonna be in control, chose that inside lane just like we've seen all the leaders do. As here we go, Cody Meadows on the loud pedal. We go back to green flag racing with about 55 laps left in this one. Mike Kelly able to get down to that bottom side, and just like we saw there, we see why the leaders are choosing that bottom side. No one's up to speed yet, so through 1 and 2, the best way around going to be the shortest distance. And that's why we see the leaders always electing this inside lane here on the restarts. Ron Holyfield with a little bit of tire strategy there under that last yellow. The 25 machine going to take 2 tires, so was able to restart inside the top 10. We'll see how it works on out, but right now able to hang on inside that top 10. Currently running in 8th is that 25 machine. And right behind them, a whole gaggle of cars stuck 2 by 2 as Kip Beasley, Frank Zingen goes side by side. Charles Van Schaik right there, Joey Gattina, and Jim Ott. 5 cars you could throw under a blanket right around that top 10 here in this one. Out in front though, Cody Meadows keeping Mike Kelly at bay for the time being. Best battle on the Speedway, definitely these 4 or 5 cars here. As Kip Beasley trying to rock and roll that bottom side here. Frank Zingen trying to keep that momentum up top there, and right now dead even between the two of them, at least through the corner. But Kip Beasley shorter distance that time, was able to get a good run down the front straightaway. Kip Beasley gonna try and clear Zingen, clear Holyfield in one move, but woohoo! Kip Beasley, big time moment there off of turn number 4. That 8 car just about got away from him there, but Easy gonna hang onto that race car, gonna live to fight another day. But man, that was a close call there. As Ron Holyfield once again under fire now from Charles Van Schaik in that 41 machine, and Frank Zingen kind of boxed on in that second lane in that black and red 62 machine, being stuck on up there, still can't quite find a way down. As now here comes Joey Gattina, going to try and get around that 25 machine. So it looks like Frank Zingen finally able to get down on that bottom side, but looks like we'll slot into about 11th position for the time being. As Ron Holyfield just trying to hang on with those 2 tires for the time being. Trying to hope to maybe take it easy on these. Be there here in about 20 more laps or so. But right now, the field's starting to get very, very much spread on out here. I mean, it's about half a second back from our race leader to Mike Kelly here. And about 4/10 of a second back to Chad Coleman, Scott Simley in 4th, and Steve Ritter in the top 5. So quite a bit of drivers that have been up towards the front still running up front. So that tells me that, you know, strategy hasn't been too much out of the ballpark here as we get our 7th caution, and that will blow my caution number kind of out of the water there as we get caution number 7 on the night. But you know, that 8 caution, we talked about it before, that over under, that 8 might be right on the money here, as we'll have about a 40 lap shootout. So maybe Shannon Wood might have been involved in this one. We saw they were involved in an earlier incident off of turn number 4, and that time in turn number 4, just the back end there of the O2 machine stepping out underneath from Wood and doing a good job keeping it off the wall, locking it on down. I know a lot of people in iRacing, you know, gets sideways, will just mash the throttle, fly into a wall, and that's always never kind of good look. So give a lot of props to the O2 machine locking it on down, and because that doesn't get any sort of damage, you can't say that too often with being involved in a caution here at Bristol. Yeah, I think so as well. I think that was caution number 2 for the O2. So caution's matching the car number there, as Rob Lowe gonna be the lucky dog recipient. So the 21 machine, after being stuck a lap down a second time here tonight, will find his way back on the lead lap. And I think with that, we'll put about 16 cars on the lead lap. Of course, we had 28 take the green flag here, but I still want to say about 20 cars still out here on the racing surface. Actually make it about 23 when it's all said and done. So still a lot of cars out here, and with 40 still to go, I mean, even if you're 10 laps down, you get a big one before 10 to go, you could still make up quite a few positions. And as we know, with a season-long format up until the playoffs, every point matters to get in that top 15 in points. So here we go. Cody Meadows once again going to choose the inside lane here on the start. Mike Kelly will occupy the outside of the front row. Rest of the field going to double on up as we get ready now for a 40-lap dash left in this one here tonight. Under our 7th caution here, one away from the 8 number of the over and under, as we'll take a view here from the very large Coliseum grandstands as we jump on board with the fan cam here to kick off the 7th restart of the night, as Cody Meadows gets away with a great start there. He'll lead the way into turn number 1. Mike Kelly, though, not able to get to the bottom side. Here comes Chad Coleman, but Kelly going to have the momentum. He will hang on to P number 2. Scott Simley, one of the highest cars on the racetrack there through 3 and 4. He will try and get that momentum rocking and rolling in that 33 machine. Right behind them, Charles Van Schaik and Jeff Pogo go door to door. Best battle furthest up on the speedway here as this battle for P number 7, as those two still side by side. Right behind them, Joey Gattina, Jim Ott, also 2x2 as well. Gattina will hang on to it for the time being. Jeff Pogo, a big moment there from the 97 machine. Pogo will hang on to that race car, but that was definitely a little bit of a sketchy moment for Pogo. But just like Kip Easy, who sits right behind him, he will, of course, get to live to see another day here. As everyone else kind of single filed out throughout this field, currently clicking down the laps for the time being. No one really side by side, so out in front, Cody Meadows leads the way. Meadows now on the same tire strategy, and right now Meadows and Mike Kelly pretty much identical lap times. Last time, give the advantage to Cody Meadows by half a tenth there, so I say let's ride on board with Cody Meadows, see what he is doing as he is leading the way here at Bristol. And you can hear at Bristol a lot of off-throttle time. I mean, pretty much lifts right where the pit road wall ends, floats it on in there, gets on it right at kind of pit road entry, and then like a machine though, right on his marks, hasn't overdrove, hasn't gotten on it too much, just hitting his marks, and right now paying off big time as Cody Meadows, one of the fastest cars on the racetrack here. As we get the 8th caution of the evening here. As it looks like maybe the 96 machine a little bit slow. Let's take a look here. See if we can see what happened out here on the racetrack to bring out this 8th caution. As maybe the one car, Brandon Guerin, he was a little bit slow there towards the end of that one. So we'll see if Brandon Guerin involved in this one. No, it looks like Brandon Guerin, an innocent bystander there, as Shannon Wood once again gets loose on corner exit, and Brandon Guerin already having himself a tough night, multiple laps down, involved in an earlier incident. He's just trying to click down the laps, get this over with, try and see about some extra positions, but involved in that one. And here we go, quite a few cars down on pit road. So it looks like Cody Meadows gonna stay on out on the racetrack. Frank Zingen, Gerald Livingston. Haven't talked too much about the Firehouse Subs 96 machine. But it looks like Livingston gonna stay on out. It looks like Rob Lowe though gonna come down pit road this time. So with that, about 3 cars gonna stay on out this time. As it's Gerald Livingston, Frank Zingen, and Cody Meadows. Mike Kelly, the first car off of pit road. Looks like the 43 machine will restart in the 4th position, and 30 lap tire advantage to the 43 machine. So should be really interesting. Like I said, I think Cody Meadows used up all his tires, so he was forced to stay on out. But we'll see how it works on out, as I think most of everyone taking their last set of tires going to have a 30 lap dash on this rubber here. And I think with this will kind of lead us right into the countdown clock at the end of this one. So the rest of the field going to double on up. Meadows once again going to choose the inside lane. And here we go, a 25 lap dash to the finish as we get ready for our 8th restart of the night. As the field gets ready to rock and roll here tonight at Bristol, the iRacing pace car heads down pit road, and it is Cody Meadows once again going early in the restart box, and we head back to green flag racing here at Bristol. Meadows going to lead the way there through 1 and 2, and so far top 3 going to be single filed out for the time being. Chad Coleman, Scott Simley going to go side by side. Coleman not going to get the exit he needs, but able to block both lanes behind him. Here comes now Steve Ritter. Ron Holyfield going to take those other tires on that race car. That 25 machine looking pretty good as well. Joey Gattina, though, going to get to the outside of the 25. Those two will make contact. Gattina in the wall. Somehow going to hang on to that race car. That could have been very, very bad. But as you can see, Charles Van Schaik, big time front end damage to the 41 machine. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time there. So no car super out of sorts. But they will continue to stay racing, as here we go. Steve Ritter going to try and get around Frank Zingen. Zingen, of course, on those older tires, he's just trying to hang on to whatever he can for these last 22 laps. Ritter up into 4th, Chad Coleman in 5th, Scott Simley up on the podium here, so he's looking for his first ever podium, maybe some more, as Mike Kelly able to get around Cody Meadows for the race lead. Now Scott Simley going to try and get around Meadows for second, he will do just that. But for the likes of Cody Meadows, we will see our 9th caution on the Speedway. And once again, we've seen a car get sideways, keep it under them, but then be involved in the next caution. Here this time, it was Joey Gattina. So we'll see what happened to the 14 machine of Gattina. As once again, Gattina and Holyfield side by side. And that time, Ron Holyfield goes on around, and the 14 going to be involved in that one. So, man, we talked about, tempers being high. I'm sure those two not going to get each other any sort of Christmas cards next Christmas there. So those two, second contact of the night between them that time, causing a caution. But like I said, if there's one driver that wanted to see that caution cool down those tires, is the 19 machine of Cody Meadows. He will, of course, be the one out there. It looks like Frank Zingen will be down on pit road using his final set of tires. So this will be about a 10-lap tire advantage to the 62 machine. So should be interesting to see where he can shake on out, because I think when it's all said and done, he'll start right around the 13th position, just outside of the top 10. So Mike Kelly out in front, looking for his first ever 802 iRacing win. Was the fastest in practice. Didn't probably quite the qualifying lap that he wanted, but right now in the closing stages of this one, he is out in front. But the driver that started on pole led, I want to say, maybe the most laps here tonight, if not second most, to Cody Meadows. Scott Simley sits in second, and Cody Meadows, hey man, if some calamity could happen in front of him, the 19 machine could be in the catbird seat. But I think Meadows, in the big picture of things, just wants a good finish, get some of that momentum on his side here. Because like I said, after tonight, only 5 races left before the playoffs kick on underway. So, interesting choice here. Going to be a 15-lap shootout, and Mike Kelly, our race leader, going to take the top side for the first time here tonight. We'll see how this works on out as the rest of the field doubled on up. And here we go. The iRacing pace car heads down pit road, and Mike Kelly in the Petty 43 going to be in control. Kelly will fire on off. He will get a great start. Here comes Steve Ritter to the outside of Scott Simley. Those two will go side by side for second. Simley maybe didn't quite have the restart that he wanted. Now Steve Ritter sits in a great spot. Ritter going to try and get second away here in these final 14 laps and try and run down Mike Kelly. But right now, still trying to work around that 33 machine as those two still side by side. This time by at the stripe, we will see now 13 laps left in this one. Right behind them, of course, some great battles here. Cody Meadows, Chad Coleman go side by side. Then right behind them, Kip Easley, Jim Ott, Anthony Calatoni, all in a great battle as well. So we will keep an eye on all of these battles as much as we can here tonight. Steve Ritter able to complete the pass there on Simley. So Ritter up to P number 2. Right behind them, Cody Meadows trying to lose as little positions as possible. Meadows ripping the fence, bouncing it off the wall. Cody Meadows trying to get anything he can left in that race car, but I think those tires begging for mercy there on the 19 machine. But Meadows says, you only got 10 more laps to do me service. I'm going to go try and use up as much rubber as I can. Now here comes Anthony Calatoni to the inside of the 19 of Meadows. Calatoni will get a little bit loose. Here comes now Jim Ott to the outside. Ott will try and keep that momentum rolling. Couldn't quite get to the outside that time. We'll try and shoot it low, though. Calatoni will shoot it low before him, as Calatoni and Meadows will trade some paint there. Man, oh man, late racing here at Bristol. It is elbows out, full on contact. As long as you don't wreck a guy or really move him out of the way, anything goes from this point on. Some door banging. Hey, that's good old short track racing, as someone said. So this battle is still going on greatly. Here comes Frank Zingen with those fresh tires, zinging into the top 10 here. But He is finding some roadblocks out in front. He will have to be careful to see where he can go. But like I said, this 62 machine having the fresh tires, he will probably need a caution before the end of that one. And right there, great heads up move. I mean, Zingen right there could have forced the issue 3 wide, but he would have had the 41 and the 19 kind of close on in there. As old contact there, as Chris Van Schaik will move Cody Meadows up out of the way. Meadows will hang on to that race car, but Meadows now back into 12th. I'm sure he's not going to be happy at the end of this Bristol race. So now Van Schaik under fire for that top 10 finish. Now from Rob Lowell. Lowell, of course, being laps down multiple times here tonight. Would love to walk away all said and done inside this top 5 here. Excuse me, top 10, as I keep on getting that all messed up. But here we go, this time by for Mike Kelly. He will see popsicle sticks up in the air for the Gladiator 200. We'll just have to see this white flag, because if we see the white here, we are racing back to the checker no matter what happens out there on the racing surface. As Mike Kelly will see the white flag, just has to bring it around 4 more corners, and Mike Kelly will add his name in the record books as a winner in the 802 iRacing League. Off of turn number 4, Mike Kelly will pick up the win and conquer the Coliseum here tonight. Steve Ritter will bring it home up on the podium. Scott Simley will bring it home in P number 3, also on the podium. We'll be chatting with those 3 drivers after this. Chad Coleman in 4th, and Jeff Pogo, when it's all said and done, will round out the top 5. But here on the front stretch, Mike Kelly gonna burn it on down and celebrate his win here tonight at the Bristol Motor Speedway. As here we go, Mike Kelly burning it on down at the start-finish line. Big-time celebrations for his first career win. I tell you what, I can't wait to chat with him here after this one. But before we do, we got to get everyone kind of all buckled, ready to rock and roll. So real quick, we will have a quick commercial break before the post-race show. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with our post-race show here at Bristol.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we are back here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and I tell you what, people must be celebrating big time because the waiting booth here on the emptier side, but here we can at least chat with our second place finisher, that being the 61 machine of Steve Ritter here. Steve, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here. Pretty good. It would help if I had turned on your sound. So, Steve, how you feeling after 200 laps here at Bristol?
I'm tired.
Yeah, I could believe so. That was a long race, man, but I tell you what, a finish that you deserve here tonight. How you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I mean, I realized the top, I think, a little bit before everybody else was better. And then I showed them all the top, and they all went there. So it was rough going after that. But no, all in all, good race. Happy that we came out of Bristol clean. I had to split up that's my old teammates, Mike Kelly and Scott Simley, on turn one there. So I had to split them up. I couldn't let them go 1-2. So.
Yeah, for sure, man. And those guys seem fast. Same with the 61 machine. I mean, Steve, you're just outside of the top 10, but man, when it came time to race action, like you said, you were one of the first to jump to the top, and man, it seemed like that 61 could just roll really nice through the corners.
Yeah, the car felt good all night long. I was, again, Bristol's not my best track, so to get a second here without really wrecking the car and taking it home in a heap is definitely a bonus for me.
Yeah, that it is. And it seems like, Lady Luck hasn't been on your side. It seems like this midpoint of the season, but here tonight you get yourself a good points finish. And, that always helps because now playoffs 5 weeks away. How are you feeling about that as well?
Yeah, I mean, we moved up in points. I'm sure this will help. Last week at Pocono, we had a really good run. Had a fast car at Pocono. I was kind of hoping we'd do a little bit better than fifth, but getting second here tonight will help, and we'll go into the playoffs with, open eyes and see what we can do.
Yeah, for sure, man. That sounds like an awesome game plan. And yeah, at Pocono, like you said, you had a lot of speed qualified on the pole. Was that something you were expecting?
I mean, I was shooting for it. I didn't know if I expected it, but I knew I had a fast car. I'd practiced a lot for Pocono, put in a lot of practice laps, and just kind of laid down a good lap. And I didn't think it was as good as it was, but yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah, that it did, able to lead the way there here tonight, have the race pace you needed. I mean, Pocono, Bristol, two very, very different tracks, but one thing comes into mind, both very, very technical, and you can't overdrive either track. And I think that comes into your strong suit, Steve, as it seems like you are one of the most consistent guys, always seems to do well, especially on long runs, right?
Yeah, I do tend to have pretty good consistency if I don't burn up the tires, and that's what I've been really working on in the practice runs is, just staying consistent, staying on that same line every lap in, lap after lap after lap, and right now it's paying off.
Yeah, that it is a great finish for you here tonight. Next week, though, we head to Texas. How are you feeling about that place, Steve?
I like Texas, so as I say that, I probably won't do well now, but knock on wood.
Yeah,
But I like Texas. It's one of my favorite tracks to race on. You can go too wide there pretty easy. iRacing is the new update has changed some things, so there's some multi-groove racing now. So Texas should get real interesting.
yeah, that it should as well. I agree with that. As yeah, that place always usually puts on a good show. I know people really don't like the reconfiguration in 1 and 2, but I tell you what, if you hit it right, man, it feels good.
I like it. I mean, these cookie cutter tracks are the same. There's a whole bunch of them in NASCAR, and the ones that I'm glad they tweaked Texas a little bit. It gives you two different corners, and you got to hit them both differently. So I kind of like that. It puts it back in the hands of the drivers a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that, Steve. And you know, I think this is the first time talking to you this season, so I always like to ask, see if anyone's got any upgrades, anything cool like that. What do you got today, Steve, for sim wheels, pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff, my man.
I'm using a G29. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I actually have upgraded. I went to 332-inch curve monitors. Got myself a stand where they can wrap around a little bit better. Then I upgraded the card and processor. I'm running a Ryzen 7 9800. Bet that's the most powerful card or chip you can get right now, and added a 5070 Ti. So seeing everything real well and digging the setup.
Yeah, I tell you what, that sounds like some awesome PC upgrades as well. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you got everything looking beautiful, probably even better than it looks on the broadcast.
No, your broadcast looks really good, man. Your broadcasts are awesome.
Hey man, I appreciate it. And Steve, I gotta give you some props, man. You always are out here racing, being part of the show. And I tell you what, another top five for you here. Trying to pull up the stats real quick, but you got to be one of the drivers with some of the most top fives. And yeah, here tonight coming in with 18. Now make 19 in your career here with the 802 guys. That's pretty awesome.
Nice. I didn't even know that, so that's kind of cool. See if we can get the big 2-0 next week.
Exactly, man. That'll be a good one to shoot for. And yeah, we look forward to, of course, talking to you some more here in the future. But here tonight, Steve, able to finish in the runner-up spot. So before we let you go, my man, and celebrate the P number 2, we're gonna go hand over the floor to you and have you thank who you got to thank, whether sponsors, teammates, or anyone else you like to give a shout out to here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Rob, Johnny Barker, Eli Raposa, Nick Larson, my teammates in Wolfpack, they help a lot. We do a lot of practice together and figure things out. So I got to give a big shout out to those guys. Without them, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. Bone Dry Roofing is a new sponsor for us, so I want to thank them for coming on board. Logitech always, and everybody that runs the show here. You know, from you doing the broadcast to Joey and Rob. That new merger is working out real well. I got a feeling. So just everybody that runs the show here. It's just a great league to run in, and really, really enjoying it and enjoying watching the growth. You know, I joined this league a few years ago when it wasn't like it is today. And literally recently in the last few weeks. So it's great to see these guys from Sim 500 over here. It's really upped my game, up the competition, and I love it.
Yeah, I tell you what, that is great things said there, Steve, and very true. I mean, here tonight, 29 cars at Bristol, only 9 cautions, and I think the biggest takeaway was that restart with old tires up front, and everyone held their own, did what they needed to do, and kept it green. I mean, that goes to show what kind of racing's here, right?
Yeah, I mean it's give and take. You know, I do want to publicly apologize to Chad Claw. I already apologized and doing it into Discord, but I did make contact with him down the straightaway a couple times. I went back and looked, and it was definitely me drifting up a little. So I want to apologize to Chad on the broadcast. And but yeah, I mean that's the give and take that this league is starting to create, and I think it's awesome because when you get that, you get really good racing, you get really good shows, you get really good broadcasts. So kudos to everybody in tonight's race.
Yeah, definitely. And you get people leaving races happier. I know we won't have everyone happy here at Bristol because who could be, but at the end of the day, you're one of the ones leaving pretty happy, right?
Yeah, I got a smile on my face right now. Yeah.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. Well, Steve, it's always a great time talking to you, my man. You have a great rest of your week, and we'll be sure to talk to you again here in the near future, and we'll see you out at Texas.
Thanks, Brett. Have a good night.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was our runner-up finisher, the 61 machine of Steve Ritter. Now we'll take a look one more time here. Look through the drivers here in the Discord, see if anyone else from our top 3 is here. And we'll give him. There we go. We got another one jumping on, and I thought I saw his name in there before, but we have our race winner here down in Victory Lane. Going to talk to the man of the hour. It is the 43 of Mike Kelly. Mike, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Hey, Brett the Jet, how you doing?
Man, we are doing pretty good, but the big question is, how are you feeling after 200 laps at Bristol?
Let's do 200 more, man. I'm stoked. That Toyota, that Sim 500 Toyota was hooked, man. It's a little redemption from Friday night. I don't know if you saw the Xfinity race at all on Friday night, but I was running really good in that race and didn't get a good finish. So being able to run up front again, I choked qualifying a little bit. So I had to work my way through the field and then hold off some hard chargers several times. So feeling really good. That was a lot of fun. That was a really good Bristol race.
Yeah, that it was. I mean, everything from, those restarts with old tires up front. We got to see that even late in the race, and you make your way, be the best car to kind of slice through the field there. I mean, how difficult was that here tonight to restart with the different tire strategies and the multiple lanes? I mean, of course, at the end of the day, we saw the top side be where it's at, but I don't know if that was a given going into tonight.
No, you brought up a lot of good points there, Brett. First of all, Friday night, the Xfinity car was like racing on ice, and the bottom was really the only good lane. You could run the middle, but it wasn't fast, and the top was death. So I had that mindset going in, and in practice, it kind of seemed like it was the same. But then when the race kicked off, that middle groove was really good. So had to do some adapting there, and it was hard to pass, but you could run side by side. So I mean, that's a lot of fun. Even if it's hard to pass, it's still a lot of fun if you can run side by side, which you could. So, but unlike Friday night where I ran like the first 80 laps before I pitted, and even then, it wasn't a huge difference. But tonight, the new tires made a significant difference, and yeah, when Cody got up there and got around us, we were like, I mean, we knew that the newer tires were fresh. We knew he had newer tires, and it's like, well, he made the move of the race there. If it stays green, of course you're thinking, is it gonna stay green? This is Bristol, and it didn't. But he had us covered if it stayed green. But once we got those newer, we kind of strategically was waiting for a yellow about that time, and it came out for us. And so, I mean, once we got the new tires, like you said, it was a race to get through the field, and I was in a good position to do that, and got out front and was able to hold them off. So it was really fun. But whatever iRacing did to Bristol, I mean, that's probably as fun as it's ever going to be, and it's pretty realistic towards real life too. So had a great time tonight.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, a lot of good points there, a lot of insight. We appreciate all that. And yeah, Bristol, when the conditions are right, man, it is a lot of fun. But when they're off, like it sounds like maybe it was on Friday night, it could be a long race for sure, right?
Yeah, it was a tough road to hoe for anybody on Friday night with that Xfinity car. So it was still fun racing though. The track still had the middle and the bottom, and it was forgiving, and that's all you want at Bristol. So I mean, maybe it's not really that realistic to real life and just run around the bottom, but for a sim, it's a lot of fun to race at right now.
Yeah, that it seems like, and I always love a good short track race and a lot of good racers here in this one. I mean, 29 cars, 9 cautions, not bad, all things considered. And it seemed like you had a lot of great battles with a lot of drivers here tonight to pick up this win as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, bringing leagues together, can be tricky because you just have people that can be the greatest racers in the world, but sometimes you just don't know how a guy races for sure. And I actually did that Friday night, racing with the guy and got into it with him. So it's just learning what guys will give you, what they won't give you, and I reacted a little bit to something, and that just comes. eh, all I can say, if we're having pretty decent racing, mixing these leagues up now, and it'll just get better once everybody learns everything. And you got a lot of guys that are into the give and take thing, which I'm just out looking to race and have fun, and that's what I love. So I'm looking forward to racing here more as this year cruises on.
Yeah, we definitely look forward to seeing the 43 machine out some more on the racetrack. I think, what was it, 3 weeks ago you made your series debut? Here tonight, picking up your first career win, man. That's awesome
It
to
was last
see.
week, actually. Last week, actually, yeah.
Okay, so even better, going one
Yes.
for two with the starts. And I tell you what, this 43 machine seems fast. Like you said, quickest in practice. And what happened there in qualifying for you?
Well, it could have been a lot worse. Actually, I wanted to get the good run in, the good lap in my second lap, and I just got this mindset, when I first went out to say, you know what, I tend to choke in these qualifying. So I tried to lay down a decent lap, the first lap, and that's what I had to go off of because the second lap I got loose coming off two, and the lap was junk. So luckily I ran a halfway decent first lap to get, I don't know, 10th or ninth or whatever I started. So not fun at Bristol starting back there, but made it work.
Yeah, that you did. And like I said before, picking up your first career win here at Bristol. Was this a track you had circled on your calendar, looking forward to on the short tracks, or did it all work out for you and you had the pace no matter what, my man?
No, I'm an old short track dirt late model guy. So
Awesome.
I love. I love short tracks. You can have a whole series of short tracks. I won't mind.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I always say, some of the best racing on iRacing is at short tracks, though you definitely have to have the right people, right?
Yeah, with the right people, it is the best racing. Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. And I got to know, I always love to hear history and hear people's stories. So, what'd you race back in the day for a late model? Where at? And how was your experiences?
Well, my family owned a NASCAR sanctioned dirt track in Omaha, Nebraska, so I grew up around racing, and I started racing go karts when I was 15 years old. Ran go karts for quite a few years. Went to street stocks. Finally started racing at my family's track and a couple local tracks around there, and moved up to late models in the mid '90s and ran limited late models and super late models for a few years before I got married, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, yeah, that could definitely slow things on down. But man, that's awesome to hear some dirt racing. I know that stuff, has definitely evolved here in the last couple of years with the amount of technology and all the crazy stuff it seems like people are trying, right?
Yeah, I've kind of been out of the scene, but I had a Rocket XR1 was my last late model, and
Nice.
uh, there it's I they've changed those cars so much. There's stuff going on them. I look underneath them now and just go, what the heck is going on there? But yeah, a lot of fun driving those crazy 4-bar cars. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah, definitely don't drive like anything else in the world, right? You're like, man, I got to keep throttle in it going
Nope,
into
they're
the
wobbly.
corner. How could it possibly stick, right?
You don't ever want to be off throttle in those things. It's a nightmare. So yeah, you got to train yourself to never get off the throttle to some. I mean, you know what I mean. You get off the throttle, but you never get fully out of the throttle.
Yep.
You got to keep that chassis loaded and keep those bars working, or you can get bit in the butt real quick.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely make you pay for it. Just like here at Bristol, you're off your marks a little bit. You'll get up in those marbles into the wall, and that could be a bad night there. But here tonight, Mike, able to get the job done, pick up the win. So once again, man, congrats on the first career win. Before we let you go and celebrate this, one final thing we got to have you do, and that, of course, thank all
You bet.
sponsors on the car, the teammates, and anyone else you like to give a shout out to, or anything else you want to chat about here on the broadcast.
Cool, man. Yeah, I really appreciate getting the opportunity to chat with you about that stuff. Love talking. Some say too much, but got to thank Sim 500 for being on the car with my fictional Pennzoil sponsorship. Got an opportunity to do that with Joey this year. So anything I'm running here or at Sim 500, I'm going to have them on the car. So appreciate them coming on board. I've ran at Sim 500 since they came into being in 2017. Got over 1,000. Me and Scotty got over 1,000 starts each there. So, uh, just want to shout out to this 802 league and you guys. Seems like the management here is top notch. I don't know all the sponsorships here for sure, so I'll just shout out to all the sponsorships. I know how important they are to keep these things going. Seems like I said, really liking the management here so far. Shout out to that whole crew. I know how much work that is as well. And as always, shout out to the Smoking Hot Wife and the Turn One Heroes teammates.
Alrighty, awesome stuff, Mike. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. I'd love to hopefully chat with you some more throughout the season, as I'm sure you got a lot of good stories there still to share. So, Mike, once again, congrats on the first career win. You, my man, have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you in 1 week's time at Texas Motor Speedway.
I appreciate it, Brett. Have a great week.
Alrighty, awesome stuff. That was the driver down in victory lane, the 43 machine of Mike Kelly, getting the job done here tonight at Bristol and picking up his first career win. So let's head through tonight's race results and get things wrapped up from Bristol. Mike Kelly in the 43 machine just got done chatting with him, picking up his first career win. Steve Ritter will bring it home in second. Scott Simley there wasn't able to catch him, but he will finish in the P3 spot. Chad Coleman, runner-up last week in the top 5. Once again, he will finish in 4th. And our current points leader found himself another good night. Jeff Pogo will finish in 5th. Second place in points, Kip Easley will be the first driver outside the top 5. He will finish 6th. Last week's winner, Anthony Calatoni in 7th. Jim Ott in 8th. Frank Zingen will drive up to 9th. And Charles Van Schaik will round out the top 10. Rob Lowell will bring it home in 11th. 12th going to Joey Gattina. 13th is Cody Meadows. 14th, Ron Holyfield. Finishing in 15th is Reba Caton. Steve Vest will finish in P number 16. 17th going to Shannon Wood. 18th is Gerald Livingston. Landon Audit in 19th, and Eli Raposa will round out the top 20. 21st going to Nick Larson. 22nd is Samuel Harrell. 23rd going to Brandon Guerin. 24th is Johnny Barker. 25th going to Aiden Tatro. Finishing in 26th is Joe Hudson. 27th going to Jason White. And Chris Proger, got a chance to chat with him earlier. He will finish in 28th. So that will do it here tonight. Once again, got to thank each and every viewer here, whether live or on the replay. Appreciate every single one of you. Also got to give a shout out to the YouTube Chatlands. Man, it was popping here tonight. And I tell you what, it was great to get to chat with you guys and get some interaction. Appreciate all of that and each and everyone. So thanks again to that. I've been in the booth. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth. Geez, I guess it's time to wrap things on up. So yeah, I've been with Turn 3 Racing Network here, and Turn 3 Racing Network also partnered with Premier Setup Shops. You can find out more with the link in the description. We also got to thank all the league sponsors, that being BG Graphix, Riptide Radio, GStone Motorsports, as well as Stone Chrysler Deep Job, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. If you want to find out more about 802, check them out on 802 iRacing on Facebook. So that'll do it here tonight. We'll catch you in 1 week's time for the Texas race. And after that, only 4 weeks left before the 15-car cutoff and the start of the playoffs. So that'll do it here tonight. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next Sunday night. I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you.